Like do this.
Your debut EP,
Yeah.
Everything to
See?
Everyone. How do you feel?
I feel so good. I
Right?
feel so sleepy. I feel so excited and so anxious and like pretty much I feel everything at one time.
100%.
Yeah.
And your title, Everything to Everyone. How did that come about?
It came about because I have always been a people pleaser, even though
Hmm.
I'm very what's the word? Like I'm very strong minded and strong willed, very stubborn, but I still am a people pleaser. Even like
Right.
the fact where like if I don't do something for someone, I feel an immense amount of guilt. And that's not to say like everything to everyone is like I'm the perfect friend and I'm the friend everybody comes to and I'm the most reliable because I have ADHD, so that is not true. But I think it is like a part of I feel like I have been living my life for other people for probably like 22 years. And this is the first year of my life that I kind of started living it more so for myself. And so that's kind of where like the title was like birthed from.
Nice. Love it. I got ADHD too. I can relate.
Hey, for us.
And how would you describe your EP in 3 words?
Bittersweet, lyrical, and just fucked.
And honestly, I'm a lyric person. So
Same.
diving down to your lyrics and breaking some down, um, powerful, very powerful.
Thank you.
And I believe you started writing at 8, if I'm not mistaken. You started writing your first track at 8.
Oh my God, I started writing so young. Like
Hmm.
I mean, essentially I was writing songs like when I was like 3, I just didn't know that
Right.
that was like I wasn't actively doing it, but my parents
That's
would
crazy.
record me. And
Yeah.
yeah, and there's videos of me just going like, you can do anything, like bullshit. But yeah.
I wanted to know also, Colorado, loved it. Um,
Thanks.
why would you consider it your happy place? Why is it so
So
powerful to you?
yeah, Colorado for me is I used to go on ski vacations with my family once every year. And we were in Colorado and I remember like being I feel like I was probably like 11 or 12 and I had that like illegal music download app like Spinrilla. And so
Right.
on that app I could have Nostalgia Ultra, which was like Frank's like first like mixtape and project. And I was getting on the plane and I was listening to There Will Be Tears and I was like sobbing. And then I was like, "Oh, that was weird." And then we were skiing and I was at the top of the mountain and I love skiing. Skiing is my favorite thing in the whole wide world. Um, we were at the top of the mountain and we were skiing down and I was alone and I was listening to There Will Be Tears and I was sobbing again. And it was like the first time that I felt like really connected to music in a weird way. And I also like, didn't feel anxious. Like I was just like, oh, I'm literally free falling and I don't feel worried. Like I don't feel like my body is like tense. I feel like I'm just like going. And it was the best feeling ever.
I want to talk more about, there was this group that you're a part of. I believe it's called Daddy's Little Girls.
Correct.
Um, what beautiful came out of that? The silver lining came out of that.
Few and far between. I think like the best thing that came out of that was I learned how to conduct myself in studios,
Right.
and with producers. And I learned how to write and I learned how to speak up for myself. I also learned like that not everybody is your friend.
Right.
Just truthfully. I also learned to trust nobody.
Right.
So it was like it was amazing for so many reasons and like very inspiring and definitely shaped a lot of how I, conducted myself for the rest of my teenage years, but it was also just wild.
Awesome. And during your process of making your EP, what did you get out of it? What did
Just
you learn from it?
I feel like I get like therapy out of it. I think writing songs and releasing songs is the only way for me that I genuinely feel very like understood um and heard. Like no matter how intently someone listens to me, I am always gonna feel like I am misunderstood, which I don't know if that's like a self, imposed sort of thing or if it truly is external. But yeah, this EP I definitely got out of like a lot of relief. I like it was also just really nice to be able to like look at myself so internally and so intensely. Like
Right.
it's a little bit scary. But I know myself so much now as a human being and as a songwriter. So it's been really wild.
Random question. Would you ever give out sparkling water to kids for Halloween?
Fuck yes, and I have. I literally
I
have.
love it.
So this is my, have you seen this on my TikTok? This is
Yeah.
why. So okay, so basically I was getting ready to go out for Halloween. And by go out, I was not trying to like rage. I was going to like a thing with my friends. And it was like late-ish. I feel like it was probably like 8:30. And I'm in a house, but mind you, I'm 22. This is my first like house. This is my first
Yeah.
time like living alone by myself. Well, that's a lie. But I'm like, I'm in a home now. Like I'm cosplaying being an adult. And I heard these kids knock on my door and I was like, what the fuck is going on? And I walked out and they were like trick or treat, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, okay. And I immediately started over explaining to them. I was like, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. How old are you? How old are you? And they're like, I'm 7 and 8, and their parents were on the sidewalk behind them. And I was like, okay, so I'm only like 12, 13 years older than both of you. I'm messing up right now. Like I've never done this. I'm like new to this. This is my first time. Like, I'm so sorry. Like I don't have any candy. Like this is my first house. And they were just looking at me like, what the fuck is this white woman saying to us? Like, what is going on? Like, they're like, who is this crazy lady? And I was like, but do you guys like Spindrifts? And they were
Mhm.
like, what? And I was like, "It's sparkling water." And the older brother was like, honestly, I'm kind of dehydrated. And I was like, bet. And so I went and I got them Spindrifts and sent them on their merry way.
Awesome. So creative. I love it. It's so adulty for you.
I know, I panicked.
Big question. Dinner with Beyonce or record a track with Frank Ocean?
How could you do this to me?
Big question, eh?
Oh my God. Okay, hear me out. Track with Frank Ocean because I feel like I could finesse a different dinner with Beyonce. Like that's
Hey,
like that will happen. The Frank thing I'm like reaching for. Like Beyonce and I are getting drinks for sure.
I love it. If you were to look at yourself in the mirror, what would you see?
Well, to be honest, I would probably just judge myself. Like
Mhm.
I really like I preach like being kind to yourself and all this shit, but I'm so not a in practice person of that. Like and just to be transparent, like I'm not at the point in my life where I can look at the mirror and like say I'm proud of myself. Like
Right.
that doesn't happen yet. I'm actively working on it every day because I don't think, that's definitely not where I want to be the rest of my life, but it's difficult for me too. It always has been. But I really hope it won't always be.
And isn't it crazy that your two biggest insecurities as a kid were acting and songwriting? And boom, look at you now.
I know those are like my like big things. I'm like, what is happening? Like, how is
Yeah.
that a thing? I literally for so long thought I was terrible. Even earlier this year when I was putting out songs, I was like, I'm so bad at this.
What can you say? What can you give a message to the youth for like the youth struggling with insecurities and anxiety?
I mean, I think the best message is kind of the crux of what we're just talking about of like I went through my entire life thinking I was a horrible actor, I would never get jobs, and thinking that I was a terrible songwriter. And no one would ever understand my music, nor would they want to listen because they wouldn't understand me, because that's what I had a lot of people telling me as a kid. Um, and those are the two things I am best at.
Love it.
So it really is just a like power through. And I'm finally at the point in my life where I can say like, fuck yeah, I'm good at those things.
There you go.
Which is great.
Have you ever been to Montreal?
A who?
Montreal, Canada.
Oh, I was like, what?
What? Who?
No, I've never been to Canada at all. I've driven past the little like border where you go. I was once in
Mhm.
Michigan and I saw it. I was like, hey.
How would it feel? What's the difference for you performing on stage, acting versus performing on stage singing?
Oh my God, there's like no comparison. Like
Right?
there's no comparison. On stage singing is like euphoric. That's all I ever wanted to do. That's what I like. self-righteously believe that I was born to do and the only thing that feels good to me. And acting is just kind of like, just do it.
What's next for you?
What's next for me is I'm going on tour.
Awesome.
And I am College Girl's coming out this week. And
Yay.
I'm doing a lot of shit in December. And then this is the most annoying, like celebrity bullshit ever. I usually hate when people do this, but I am about to do it now. I can't say like what it is for top of next year, but I am working on a project that I'm very excited that everybody will get to know about very soon.
Is this acting or singing?
It is potentially acting.
Ooh,
I know,
awesome.
T.
Yeah,
T.
awesome. Good for you. I'm so happy and proud of you. You've came a
Thanks, man.
long way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time. Love what you
Thanks.
do.
Thank you.
Keep up the grind
Thanks,
and
man.
hope to hear about you more.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for talking to me. You're the sweetest.
Of course. Appreciate it. You too.